What up, though? It's the Madden Curse matchup recap for week 8. Let's go ahead and take a quick look at the rankings. I went ahead and updated them. Brent is in the 1 spot. Fat Marshall moved up 3 spots to the 3rd spot now. JT in 4th, Dan in 5th, Scott in 6th, Jason in 7th, number 8 Jordan, number 9 Frank, number 10, Alex. Number 11, Lando. And number 12, taking sole control of the Sacco. No tiebreakers needed, Mr. T. All right, let's see what the matchups look like this week. I played Frank. Frank is now 3-5, and I have finally broken my losing streak. Only took me 6 games, so now I am 2-6. This was a high-scoring week from what I saw. 11 out of 12 teams put up over 100, and of those, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 teams put up 120 plus points. So that's a lot of points. That's a lot of points. Good job, guys. All right, at 133 to 110, myself getting the victory over Frank on Frank's side. Matthew Stafford 17, Joe Mixon 13, Devin Singletary 9, Stephon Diggs with 23, DJ Moore with 27 points, and a costly, costly penalty at the end of the game. Got that touchdown, made it look beautiful, and then took his helmet off and we missed the extra point and we panthered our way to a loss. Will Disley, 3 points. Chase Claypool in the flex got him 12 points there on his bench. Jacoby Brissett had 20 and Melvin Gordon had 14. Could have picked up a couple extra points, but would not have helped secure the victory. On my side, Brady 17, Fournette 15, no longer part of the team. Tony Pollard, I mean, he's the whole team now, 34 points. Oh my God, we've been waiting for this day. Say goodbye to Zeke. It don't matter what happens to that knee. He can come back with a new knee next week after his bye week. The job is gone. It's Tony's. Mike Evans, 18 points, no longer on the team. Amon-Ra St. Brown finally played a full game. Got 14 points, not too mad. Dallas G, 12 points. He's out of here too. Jonathan Taylor, ultra disappointing. Jonathan Taylor, 5.5 points, man. 5.5 points. That's real disappointing, especially when you go down to your bench and you see Donta Foreman had 32 points. He is also no longer part of the team. Made a pretty big trade while the matchup was going on. In hindsight, probably would have been better for me to wait for the week to end out to make that trade. But as a rule, when it comes to trades, I feel that if you are trying to get the best player in the deal, which I feel like I was, you make that trade as soon as you can. So that's what I did, and then I watched a couple guys that I was trading just go off. But you know, imagine it'll work itself out, right? Who cares? That's the matchup. That's the first matchup. Second matchup, Brent and Fat matchup of the week. It was a little bit of a letdown. Brent put up 148 points, and Fat put up a noble 104. Fat side Joe Burrow came back to life, 13 points. Saquon Barkley is he superhuman? I don't know, 15 points. David, I'm about to go hang out with Zeke because I'm also losing my job. Montgomery with 8 points. Christian Kirk, 7. Tyler Lockett, 15. Evan Ingram alert, 15. Darnell Mooney, 12 points. And on Fat's bench, Romeo Dobbs had 16. Would not have helped him in this scenario here. Austin Eckler was on a bye. He might have helped. I don't know if he averages 45 points, but he averages a lot. So definitely could have made it look a little bit better. On Brent's side, Marcus Mariota, 22 points. Derrick Henry, 36. Kareem Hunt, 11. Tyreek, 31 and a half. Jalen Waddle, 31. When I did the previews, I said Derrick Henry, Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle, because of their matchups, they might put up 100 points on their own. And, well, let's see, 36. We'll say 31. We'll say 32. I mean, they were right there. They were a point short, a couple points short. I think Brent's pretty happy, though, with 98 points out of those three guys. Mark Andrews even got hurt. Only put up 6 points. Didn't matter because he had three guys put up basically 100. Chris Olave had 10 points in the flex as well. This is interesting. Defense and kicker combined to score 0 points for Brent. Didn't matter. Highest score of the week. Just goes to show you, kicker and defense overrated. It's trash. On his bench, nothing really that he was missing out on, other than his guys on buys, Patrick Mahomes. So, congrats, Brent. Undefeated. May never lose. Who knows? Fat 6-2. Got crushed. Yeah, he'll be back next week. Jason versus Jordan was our next matchup. Jason won 121 to 106. Jason had 25 out of Kyler Murray, 14 out of Miles Sanders, 2 points out of Brian Robinson, 1 point out of Devontae Adams, but he had 34 from DeAndre Hopkins, 13 from Zach Ertz, and then Terry McLaurin, man, I guess he's back, 17 points in the flex position. On Jordan's side, Lamar Jackson 22, Aaron Jones 20, the Gus Bus 6, Michael Pittman 12, Jerry Jeudy 18, Pat F 10, and then Wan'Dale Robinson in the flex throwing up 4 points. Let's see who was on the bench on Jordan's side. Man, it must really stink being a Najee Harris owner because I see him go in, I see him go out. The guy, he had 12 points, which is a pretty Najee Harris kind of day. Um, just thinks that you, you got Gus Edwards in over him, who last week had 18 and then this week hits for 6. Wouldn't have mattered even if he had hit 18. Jason still would have won. So not completely. Um, not really much he could have done there. Mike Williams was on a bye, and he's hurt. Probably won't be back next week. On Jason's side, Jason left some points on the bench. Rondell Moore, 23. Tua Tagovailoa, 30 points. And then Antonio Gibson had 21. He started Robinson over him, who had 2. If the matchup was closer, he might have came to regret that decision. But didn't matter. Just had a bunch of points and then a bunch more on the bench. Our next matchup is Scott and T. I think this one is going to be the blowout of the week. Yeah, it looks like they're going to edge Fat there. Fat tried to get it. 135 to 85. Scott over T. Scott had 17 out of Josh Allen, pretty quiet. 40 out of Christian McCaffrey, not quiet. 1 point out of Rex Burkhead. Would love to see some more production from that RB2. DK Metcalf, man, they were saying he might be missing some games. I don't think he missed anything. Had 18 points. Jacoby 21. Noah Fant 4. And then Amari Cooper in the flex with 22 points. On his bench, Keenan and CEH on buys. And Tyler Conklin, 26 points. But didn't need him. On T side, Daniel Jones with 9. DeAndre Swift, 14. Eno Benjamin, 9. James Conner may be coming back next week. Who knows? Who knows? We'll see if Eno has secured at least a portion of that role. Deontay Johnson, 9. Chris Godwin, 14. TJ Hawkinson, 11. And then T. Higgins in the flex, 14 on T's bench. Dak Prescott had 25 points. I think last week T started Dak. bench Daniel Jones, and it was the other way around. Daniel Jones had all the points. So fantasy is a cruel mistress sometimes. You gotta dig into the matchups, and sometimes you just gotta hope you get lucky. Garrett Wilson had 17 points, and then his kicker Nick Folk had 21 points. Kicker he started had 3. Let's do some lineup additions. Let's see. Could T have added 35, 50 points? Sub the kicker, there's 18. Sub Dak for Jones, we're looking at 27. And then who was the other guy? Garrett Wilson, 17 and a half. Sub out Deontay Johnson's 9. For that, we're adding another 8, so we're around 35. So it would not have won. Would have got over that 120 threshold though. But again, I mean these weren't obvious substitutions. I mean, 2 of them are kickers. You never know with kickers. Daniel Jones over Dak. I mean, last week it was literally the opposite way. Daniel Jones has been looking good, and then Garrett Wilson over Deontay Johnson. I mean, I don't know that I would have made that call either. So, um, it, you know, fantasy. It's the way it goes sometimes. But congratulations, Scott, on the victory. Next matchup, Marshall versus Dan. Dan 4-4. Marshall got the victory, 5-3, 143 to 127. This might have been the combined highest scoring matchup. Marshall was on a tear for a little while. It looked like he was going to have the high score of the week. Jalen Hurts had 28. Alvin Kamara had 43. James Robinson 2. AJ Brown 40. Drake London 7. George Kittle 13. Tyler Higbee 4. And on Dan's side, 23 out of Kirk. 14 out of Damon Pierce, 12 out of Kenneth Walker, 16 out of Jefferson, 19 out of CD, 8 out of Taysom Hill, and 21 out of Ramondre Stevenson. On the benches, Dan's got 17 from Tyler Algier, 25 points from some guy named Travis Etienne. Not really sure who that is. And then on Marshall's side, Deebo Samuel was injured, so he didn't play. Kenyon Drake had 17 points. Could have subbed him over James Robinson, but didn't matter because Marshall got the victory. He's 5-3. He said, "I'm going to the playoffs. I don't know what you were thinking leaving me out. That was silly," and he's right. And he had the highest jump of the rankings, I believe. Last week he was 6th, and now he's 3rd. So, congrats to you, Marshall. 2nd in the East Division. Um, Last matchup of the week: Alex versus JT. Alex is trying to go on a winning streak, if I'm not mistaken. He won last week, and he did. He won 132 to 120. Let's see what we got. Geno Smith, 19, 25 out of Dalvin Cook, 8 points out of Raheem Mostert, 11 Brandon Cooks, 20 Brandon Ayuk, 9 points out of Dawson Knox, 25 out of Nick Chubb. That's what sealed the game. And then on JT's side, we had 17 out of Andy Dalton, 7 points out of Josh Jacobs, 23 points out of Jamal Williams, 23 from Cooper Kupp, 13 from Adam Thielen, 13 from Dalton Schultz, 11 from Curtis Samuel, and on the bench, not a whole lot, 15 from Rodgers, would have been less than what Dalton gave you. On Alex's side, James Conner, not on a bye, just hurt. Kyle Pitts had 19. Could have subbed him over. Dawson Knox gained another 10, but didn't matter because he still got the victory. So congrats, Alex, and congrats on your, I believe, 2-game winning streak. Alex said he's going to the playoffs. Well, he said it. I mean, literally, he said it. I'm not saying he's going there. He said it. But that's the recast for the week, fellas. We'll see you next week, well, we'll see you later this week for some more previews, matchups, predictions, fun stuff like that. I'll put the picks in the chat. Much love.